What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Fantastic Effects Fridays on a Monday. This is actually the first and possibly the only Monday edition Fantastic Effects Fridays you're ever going to see. That was a mouthful. But without any further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so this is what I'm going to be showing you how to do today. Also, if you're wondering why I have the microphone actually in the shot here, is normally when I set up this desk shot here, the echo changes literally from video to video, so I just figured the closer I can get the mic, the better it will be. So without any further ado, let's jump right into Premiere Pro right now. Alright, so starting off, this is the first shot that I have here. You can see I walk into frame. Now keep in mind when you're shooting this, you want to make sure you're standing in the exact same spot every single time and looking the same direction every single time. So if you notice on the ground, I have this pine cone sitting here sort of as a marker, and I made sure to be looking at the exact same tree every single time, because this shot here, this effect, I did completely by myself. No one else helped me film this. So if you are filming by yourself, this is a cool way to sort of incorporate some camera movement of yourself in your videos. So keep in mind, you want to have a marker for where to stand and where to look. So for this first shot here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut it when I look down, right there. So now that I'm looking down, I'm going to go ahead and move the camera and make sure to point it at the exact same spot and try and keep the horizon exactly the same in every shot. I did not do this perfectly because this was a very uneven ground, so if you are doing this on even ground, flat concrete, it should come out a lot better than what you see here. But now from here, I'm just going to go ahead and take about 2 frames out of each camera movement. So as you can see, it moved there. Going to grab another one. So far, this is what we got. And I just went back and stood in the same spot every single time. Keep in mind, you can decide to record, but you need to make sure the focus is exactly the same each time. Or if you want to, you can set your camera up on a timer and actually use photos. So from here, it's just a little bit of a lengthy process. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut the video. But essentially all I'm going to do is go ahead and just drop each clip into the timeline one after another. Alright, so now that I went ahead and did that, this is what I have so far. And as you can see, it could be a lot smoother. The smaller the movements you do, the smoother it's going to be. The only thing is, when I was filming this, the sun was going down, so I wanted to keep the light as same as it could be from the previous shot to the next one, so I decided to try and do it as fast as possible. But keep in mind, if you do have the time, the smaller movements you do with your tripod and move your camera, the smoother this is going to turn out. So this is, like I said, what I have so far. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to highlight all these clips here, and I'm going to nest these clips and just hit OK. As you can see, that got rid of all our cuts and essentially turned it into its own clip. So we just took all 8-9 of those clips and made its own clip. Now from here, as you can see, it doesn't look that smooth. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is go ahead and go to Effects and go to Warp Stabilizer. Now keep in mind, you have to nest these clips all together for Warp Stabilizer to work. And then we're just going to go ahead and drop it on and let it do its thing. From here, you can go grab, I don't know, something to drink, or this really just takes too long.
One man does Fantastic Effects Fridays, but on a Monday.
Fantastic Effects Fridays here. It literally just got to 50%. Alright, so now after that wait, if we go and play it back, you're going to notice that it is quite a bit smoother now. Still not perfect, but it did help definitely smooth it out quite a bit. Now from here, what we're going to do is go ahead, right click it, and nest it. Now make sure Warp Stabilizer is exactly how you want it, because from here, you're not going to be able to go back and change it. Now the reason that we are nesting it is because we're going to speed ramp the clip, and Warp Stabilizer and speed ramping can't be used on the same clip. So technically when you nest it, it sort of bakes in the effects in there and makes it a new clip again, if that makes any sense at all. But Premiere, if you're watching, which I highly doubt you are, make it so speed ramping and nesting can be used on the same clip. Like, seriously. So now from here, after we nested that again, we are going to right click here on this FX tab here and hit speed. Now this is going to enable us to be able to speed ramp this clip, and I want it to start to speed up as soon as the camera starts to move. So I'm going to hit P on my keyboard and make a point right there. And I want it to slow down when the camera movement ends, so make another point right there. Now, that means we can speed up pretty much everything in between. So we're going to grab this line here and drag it up and bring it up to about 215%. Now, if we play this back, you can see it speeds it up right there, but I want it to gradually get faster and then gradually slow down, so it just seems quite a bit smoother. So what we're going to do is, like I said, speed ramp it. So we're going to essentially make these ramps right here, and that's going to help just smooth things out. And to make it even a little bit smoother, if we click it again and grab one of these tabs and slide it up there, you're going to notice that that makes the ramp itself actually even smoother. So this is what you get right here. And from here, you can really just tweak it however you want, however you feel your clip needs to be tweaked. But I'm just going to go ahead and say that's pretty good right there. Now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and right click the clip again and nest it. And like I said previously, make sure your clip is exactly how you want it, because now you're not going to be able to go back and change it. So from here, the last thing that I'm going to go ahead and do is, if the camera was really moving like that, you would see motion blur. So in my effects tab here, I'm going to go ahead and search directional blur and drop it onto this clip. Now I'm going to go ahead and find again the frame where it starts to move. And in my effects controls over here, you're going to see directional blur is now on there. And I'm going to turn on keyframe for blur length, go to about the middle of the camera movement here, and turn blur length up to about, I don't know, 30. And go to the end of the camera movement and turn it to 0. Now, of course, we want the motion blur to actually be going in the right direction, so let me change that here. That looks about right. All right, so that's looking quite a bit better now. Now, the last thing I'm gonna do is go over here into my effects controls, and you're gonna see the directional blur. Now you can actually see the keyframes here. The first keyframe, I'm gonna make it ease out, and the last keyframe, I'm going to make it ease in. Essentially, what that's doing is, just like we did the speed ramp, that's ramping the effect in and out to just make the transition a little bit smoother. And you can see this is what we have now. And from here, I may just tweak these keyframes just a touch, but that's pretty much the finished effect. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to go down below and hit the like and subscribe button. It really does help. Also, I'm super close to 300 subscribers, so thank you to everyone who has joined the channel so far, and thank you to everyone who is going to join in the future. If you're watching this video 3 years down the road, thank you very much. But like I said, that's pretty much it for this one. I'll see you later. In a world where one man can... I'm leaving now.